It was the summer of 1954, and the air in our village carried that warm, drowsy scent of hay and river water. I was 12, small for my age, with a love for quiet corners and forgotten rooms. My aunt's house stood at the edge of the orchard, paint peeling in slow curls from shutters that hadn't been opened in years. She let me stay there while my parents travelled, saying a child ought to spend at least one summer without clocks and radios, so they could learn the rhythm of their own thoughts. I remember mornings in the kitchen, sunlight trembling through the lace curtains, the faint smell of cinnamon from the jar she never seemed to empty. On the second floor there was a narrow hall, carpet faded to a dusky rose, and at its end the door to a room no one entered. My aunt said it hadn't been touched since her brother, Thomas, left for sea. He never came back. She never said why. I didn't mean to go inside. It happened on a day so still even the bees seemed to sleep, when the orchard was heavy and silent under the heat. That door had always been shut, yet when I passed by, I noticed it was slightly ajar, just enough to betray a darker warmth within. The room smelled of dust and something sweet, almost like apple cores left too long in a drawer. There was a single bed, quilt neatly folded as though expecting its owner's return. On the desk lay a stack of letters bound with I would catch glimpses in my periphery, a sleeve vanishing around a corner, the shadow of someone leaning against the orchard gate. If I turned, it was only the wavering of heat, flicker of leaves. But the smell from that room began to seep into the hall, faint at first, then vivid, until I avoided the upstairs entirely. One evening, my aunt asked me to leave a basket of pears outside the door for her, brother's things. It was the first time she spoke of Thomas without pausing. As I set them down, I realized the door was open wide now. In the dimming light, I saw the bed rumpled, as if someone had slept there and risen minutes before. The letters were gone. That night, I dreamt I was standing in the orchard at dusk, and a man was walking toward me from the far edge. His clothes were salt-stained, buttons dull with rust. He smiled, but it was slow, as if remembering how. Then I woke to find my window open, curtains stirring gently, though there was no wind. The next morning, my aunt told me Thomas had finally come home, and that I needn't worry about the locked doors anymore. I did not see him, though sometimes, at night, I would hear low, deliberate footsteps moving from the orchard into the house. When my parents returned, we left without packing the upstairs rooms. I did not think of that summer for decades. But last week, I found a letter in my own hallway, cream-coloured, edges curled, no stamp. Inside was nothing but my name, written in a hand that seemed both weathered and patient. The scent of apples followed me all evening, and just before sleep, I heard those same footsteps, taking their time, finding their way toward my door.